Chromakey in Frames 5. Now, for those of you who weren't already aware, Chromakey is the traditional way of referring to green screening or blue screening. You will often see this used in various movies for special effects. You will see this during the weather report on your local news station. It can be used in the animation software we use as well. Since we use Frames 5, this is how I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, typically you use a really bright green background or a bright blue background because those colors are usually not found on people unless something's gone horribly wrong in their visual arts class, or horribly right, but never mind about that. But you can use that for almost any object in frames that has a solid color background. For example, here I'm working on a nice outdoor scene for an animation, and I went into the library and I found a bunch of things to add because I thought it was a little too plain. So I looked for trees and I found, some stuff. Some was useful, some wasn't. I've got this nice oak tree that I liked, and I also have this tree here, which is pretty cool also, but it has that white background and it doesn't really work with everything else. I need to be able to remove that background to make it transparent, and that's done with Chroma Key. Now, I can only do this because the white background is not part of the object itself. If there were any parts of this tree that were the same color as the background, I'd be out of luck. Those would turn transparent as well. Now, to make this work with Chroma Key, first I click on the object I want to modify. Then I go over to Tools, and you have a whole bunch of options over here. Next to Color, you'll have an Edit button. You'll have other edit buttons as well. Ignore those. Just go for the one next to Color. And the very top option says Chroma Key, and it has a little eyedropper. Now, you don't need to hit that checkbox. That'll check itself in a little bit. Click on the eyedropper, then click on your background, and the background will go away. Now, this picture that I used was ideal because it was very few colors and there was no white at all in the foreground, no white at all in the object, so I was able to just click and go, and I can hit go back, and I can move this around, I can resize this, and it will stay transparent, and it looks like it was never there to begin with. There was no background to begin with. Now, you can do this for other pictures as well. For example, here's this wonderfully enthusiastic technology teacher, and he's in front of a green background. Now, there's some ripples and shadows in the background. This is not the best picture in the world to use, but this is an excuse for us to try using the tolerance adjustment as well. So let's try this. Click on the picture I want to edit. Click on Edit, Eyedropper, Green Background, and I've got a little bit of green fuzz along the edges. It's not exactly a clean cut. So I can adjust the tolerance. I can move it forward or backward, and if I move it over this way, as you can see, it removes more, and if I move it over this way, it removes less. So you can really fine-tune it to remove as much of the background as you can without removing too much and having holes in whatever your subject is. So that is a basic tutorial on how to use Chroma Key. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.